Hi friends, it's Dominique, the Nourishing Mystic, and today I wanted to talk about fixed versus growth mindsets. A fixed mindset is one where someone feels like their potential is fixed to a certain extent, that they maybe are just not good at math, or they're not good at art because they haven't been gifted to go to that potential. Their potential is always stuck in a fixed place, and they feel like it is very difficult, if not impossible, for them to grow from that place. Whereas a growth mindset is one where someone feels like they can continue to grow to meet whatever goals that they may have for themselves. And the word mindset here is very important because I think some people get confused with the difference between the belief that we hold for ourselves versus the actual situation that we're in. So there are very valid obstacles and circumstances that might be causing us to become stuck in life. And, maybe we don't have time to grow to become the artist that we want to become, right at this moment. There might be stresses and other circumstances, money problems, things like that, that are blocking us from getting to where we want to go. So those are physical circumstances that present themselves as obstacles. But in this video, I'm focusing on the mindset. So that is actually the beliefs that we have about ourselves. So that means no matter what actual obstacles or circumstances are presented in our life that might be causing us to become stuck in a moment, we can always still maintain the mindset about ourselves. So we could say, instead of, well, I guess I'm just never meant to be an artist, we could tell ourselves, right now I'm in a circumstance where I'm having some trouble focusing on my art, but that doesn't take away from my belief in my potential to become an artist. So you can still have a growth mindset while being in a circumstance where you feel fixed or stuck. So some other examples of a fixed versus growth mindset. Again, I mentioned someone who sees an artist and just says, oh, well, of course you're great at art, you're very talented. And they just assume that it's a gift. That would be a fixed mindset, versus seeing the growth mindset of, that person put in a lot of time and effort and focus. Maybe they've been drawing since they were very little. Maybe they've taken classes to hone their skills. So growth is saying it's not just something innate that you either have or don't have. It's really how much of a potential you have to become that. So it would also be like a green thumb. Some people just say, oh, you've just got a green thumb, everything grows for you. And they don't see that that person has done research on plants. They've gained knowledge on how to grow plants, how to do gardening, how to work on fertilizers. Maybe they have a ton of available sunlight in their homes. They've got south and east facing windows with plenty of sun. And of course, their plants grow well. It's not just because they have a green thumb and you don't. So that's the difference in mindset. We've also got people who look at tarot readers and just say, oh, you've just got an intuitive gift. Well, that is, everyone has intuition. Everyone can grow their intuition. And those really gifted tarot readers, they have done tons of research, reading tarot books, training. They've practiced with friends and family and themselves, and they've journaled about tarot, and they've done exercises and practices to continue to grow their intuition. So again, for someone watching out there, if you've always wanted to grow your intuition or wanted to read tarot and find yourself in a fixed mindset where you say, oh, well, I just don't have that gift, maybe try to think of yourself in a growth mindset and say, I could have that gift if I spent the time, energy, and effort to learn how to hone it and grow it. Some people seem like they're so well organized, But again, you don't see all of the different systems of organizations that they've tried, the different to-do lists, planners that work for them. They might have tried 10, 20, 30 different methods. They might have been trying to get themselves organized for years and just now found something that makes them seem like they're well organized. The same thing for people who are great at cooking. Maybe they've got a great family support and a heritage for cooking, or maybe they've actually been trained on it, or they've just practiced it a lot and read tons of cookbooks. Same thing for people who are prolific writers. I'm sure they have hundreds, if not thousands, of crumpled up tossed papers, failed manuscripts, scribbled journals, scribbled notes here and there. And it just so happens that after so much trial and error, they've finally been able to publish their books and feel comfortable with writing. Even people who seem very fit and muscular, they've had to go through strength training, endurance training, weightlifting to get to that point. So those are just some examples that I see in everyday life where someone in a fixed mindset says, I'll never be able to do that. Whereas someone in a growth mindset says, I want to be able to do that. Now, what can I do to make it happen? What can I do to grow that skill of mine? Is there time in my schedule that I could devote to weightlifting? What weightlifting system should I do? Or are there books that I should read on gardening or cooking? Whatever it is that you're interested in, don't let your mindset limit your potential. So again, we're talking about your mindset, your approach to life, and essentially ask yourself, are there times when I get in my own way? Am I blocking the universe's abundance? Like maybe the universe is throwing me people who are great at art. Maybe the universe is, having people who have printed cookbooks are crossing my path. And maybe I'm just saying, oh, well, I can't cook, so I'm going to block that abundance. I'm going to block that potential. Instead of being open to it and saying, I've never really thought of myself as a good cook, but maybe I can try cooking with this person. Maybe I can try this new recipe that they sent me, and actually seeing that new skill set blossom and grow rather than being fixed and saying, no, can't do that. Or do we let what other people say about us stop us? And that's an unfortunately extremely common circumstance. I know many people who can relate to doing art classes in elementary school, as a young kid, and maybe not getting good grades, maybe getting chastised by the teacher, or maybe being told, oh, you're not a good artist, or even from our own parents saying, you're not a good artist, or, you're a boy, so you can't do art, Those messages from society, from our culture, from other people can also propel us into a fixed mindset where we say, oh, well, because I'm a certain gender or a certain age or, from a certain background, that means I can't do X, Y, and Z. And we let their thoughts, their projections, and their opinions of us keep us stuck in a place where we think that we can't do things. So that's also something to consider, is just to think, where in life am I fixed? Where in life am I stuck in fixed mindsets? Where in life, and you kind of maybe journal about that, list those things, and then think, is this something that I am getting in my own way? Or is this a fixed mindset that's come from someone else? How can I start to break that down, break down the barriers around me that have been created either by other people, by society, or by myself, break those down to open up and allow for more potential in my life? Can I see my fixed assets and recognize, oh yeah, I was told I couldn't do this, but maybe that's not true. Maybe if I were to study and to look into this and maybe reach out to other experts in that field, maybe I can do that. Are there areas in your life where you notice that you have a fixed mindset that you can change to a growth mindset? And you may want to do some affirmations to work through that. Just affirmations like, yes, I can grow, or I can grow this or that skill. I can change. I can evolve. And really just take that time to examine those beliefs about yourself and see if you can release some of that. And I would also say with this work, when we're thinking about growth mindsets and thinking about our personal potential, I would also recommend that you release any attachments that you had to the outcome. This has been major work for me all of my life. I am definitely an instant gratification person, where I might think, okay, I want to become great at digital art, and I get my iPad and Procreate and I start drawing, and I'm like, this is terrible. This is awful. I wouldn't show anyone this work. I could never call myself a digital artist. And then I have to kind of step back and say, no, that's a fixed mindset. I'm growing. And rather than saying, oh, the outcome has to look like this. For me to call myself an artist, I need to make art of this quality. Or for me to call myself a gardener, I need to have my backyard full of 20, 30 different plants. Like, release that attachment to that outcome and just focus on saying, I have infinite potential within me, and give yourself patience and grace to go on that growth journey. So see the growth mindset as having a continuous journey, rather than just waking up one day, maybe reading something and trying it for the first time and then getting frustrated because it doesn't turn out right. You screwed it all up. You've got to throw it away and say, oh, I just can't do this. Instead say, I took a small step. I tried and I learned, and now I'm ready to take my next small step and try and learn from that, and the next small step and try to learn from that, and just focus on that. Focus on the small baby steps, focus on the journey, focus on the tiniest iteration of improvement that you're getting just by doing it, just by putting yourself out there, just by trying it. And of course, the quote from Adventure Time is, the first step to getting good at something is sucking at it. Like, that's what you have to do. You just have to say, oh, yeah, I'm really going to suck at this when I start out, but that's how I'm going to get good in the journey. So we put aside the expectation of, yeah, I'm going to become ripped, I'm going to become, super gardener, great artist, amazing chef. Like, put that aside and say, I'm going to allow myself to grow. I'm going to allow myself to open to infinite potential. And I'm going to start my growth process with patience with myself, not attached to any outcome. I'm going to pat myself on the back and congratulate myself for even stepping a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm going to congratulate myself for breaking out of the fixed mindset and just trying something new. Like, that in and of itself is worth just everything in this life. Just to allow yourself to try new things and live more fully, live more open, to allow the universe in with gifts and abundance and say, I can grow. I can do this. I can change. Maybe I'll surprise myself, and who knows in how many years in the future my digital art will be spectacular. That will be amazing. But for right now, I'm just going to be happy that I can do a little scribble every day and draw a little cartoon, or some line art every day. Give myself a pat on the back and say, okay, I did it. I got out of my comfort zone. I believe in you. I hope this video was helpful and inspiring to you. If you did enjoy this topic in this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and comment, let me know what you think. I love seeing comments on my videos. Even if you just made it to the end, comment with a heart. I would really appreciate it. And thank you, and blessed be.